Thank you to all the witnesses that came today. I'm going to have my questions directed at Marc. I'm the son of a taxi cab driver, so this was a really big development for us in our neck of the woods. Can I just get your comments on how the current system works? So if you drive for Beck Taxi in Toronto, how are you expected to register and how is your GST remitted?
So a driver, sorry?
It would be HST in that
Okay.
example.
So a driver today, before starting, once he gets licensed by the city, his next step is to be registered as a taxi driver with the government, so gets a GST number. The GST is that the way the GST works, or the HST works in Ontario, is that it's built into the meter fare. So there's no choices. Our drivers must be registered in order to collect the HST. Every charges that they go through by paying the brokers are imposed HST, and they go through the process of accumulating their fares, making their calculations, and being able to remit it either quarterly, monthly, or it's either quarterly or monthly. Yes.
So each individual driver remits it. So
Yes.
for example, if there's 5 drivers that drive for Beck, they don't remit it to Beck and then Beck remits it to the government.
No.
Each individual driver remits it.
Remits his own portion of the
Exactly.
HST, and the brokers or the company remits their portion on the fees that they charge.
Yeah, and
Yes.
so each driver is licensed by the city or municipality that they drive in, and they're also registered to collect GST.
Absolutely, yes.
And it doesn't matter if they make $10,000 a year or $90,000 a year.
Correct. It starts from $0. Yes.
Okay, and so now the definition that's going to be changed now in our budget this year is going to change the definition of taxis to include ride-sharing applications, such as the prominent one is Uber.
Yes.
So how would you anticipate, as somebody that's been in the industry for so long, how it should apply to Uber?
So Uber's fares are not fixed by the licensing authorities. And therefore, if anyone would take an Uber today, the fare is calculated on a distance and by a multiplier depending on how surge pricing or no surge pricing. There's really, it all depends on demand. They should be adding, as we are adding, the HST to the final fare. The difference between us and Uber is that we have to include it in the meter, whereas they can easily simply add that to the calculations when they remit the invoices or the receipt to the customer.
Okay, so it essentially, in order for it to be fair, because this is all about tax fairness, in my opinion, that's
Yes.
what the statement is, that if you're operating a taxi or you're in Uber, you're essentially doing the same level of business, and you should be applying the same level of tax. Ideally, what it would be that if you're an Uber driver, Uber would change its policy to collect it at the fare stage. And whether it was the brokerage that remitted it or the driver that remitted it, it would make an even playing field.
That's right. It all depends on how Uber treats its drivers, either they're independent or dependent contractors, such as taxi drivers, or as employees. If they're employees, Uber needs to collect those taxes from the drivers and from all the rides and remit them to the government. Yes.
Thank you, Raj. Mr. Leipert.
Thank you.